What's talking? It's Street Talk. My name is Trisha, and recently Budget 2020 have been announced for Singapore. So we'll be hitting the streets asking people what are their thoughts about it. So let's go! So this year's budget, a lot of budget was set out for helping the families and businesses because of the COVID virus. So what are your thoughts about it?
I think it's timely because definitely there'll be people affected by the virus outbreak, like Grab drivers or whatever. So I think it's very good.
I think the government has done pretty well in terms of offering, all the incentive for both businesses and family. For example, one of the policies in which they announced is to provide, a 8% wages for the past 3 months for businesses to basically help retain local workers. So I think that's very beneficial because companies have been talking about, possible retrenchment in light of this coronavirus. From a individual standpoint, there's quite a number of incentive, especially targeting at those who are from the lower to middle income, which needs help the most.
I do think it's necessary because a large part of the revenue for Singaporean businesses is driven by tourism. The percentage of Chinese visitors to Singapore has actually doubled over the years since the SARS virus. So there is quite significant headwinds for the tourism industry, and the tourism industry does make up a significant part of Singapore's revenue and thus taxation income. So in order to really ensure that the economy doesn't go into a steep downturn, it's quite necessary to have some form of stimulus package which was suggested.
I think it's necessary. I think considering the potential global slowdown that may be happening, that I think is already happening, I think it is really necessary at least to calm the nerves of the people and also the businesses.
I think the government is actually handling it quite well because they're actually concerned about how there's a shortage of masks and things like that. So they actually chip in give some of it from the reserve to help people who can't get some masks.
The Finance Minister also says that he's deferring the 2% GST hike for now, but will introduce it later. Do you feel that the GST increase is necessary?
I think based on what the government has said, I think bulk of the GST increase or the justification is because of rising healthcare costs. I think if we look at the demographics, definitely Singapore is facing an aging population. So I think it's justifiable. And if you look at other cities across the world, I think even in the US, a number of cities, it's very common to have a VAT a lot higher than 7%.
I don't think the GST hike in of itself is a necessary evil. GST in of itself is a very regressive form of taxation. So a more equitable form of taxation would probably be preferable if you want to go according to that purpose that was suggested.
Living costs are constantly rising, so probably it's just a matter of time as to when or how much they increase it. They are trying their best to delay increases and make it as small as possible each time they hike so that people won't be too unhappy also.
I think it is, especially with our aging population, but it's good that they are implementing it later so that we have time to brace ourselves and adjust.
Minister also said that he will set aside 6 billion to cover 5 years of extra GST expenses for the people. So how do you feel about this?
I think the $6 billion, I think largely, if I'm not wrong, is given through GST vouchers or USAVE vouchers, which is targeted again at the lower income groups, which definitely would benefit them a lot. I think GST is a redistributive taxation that helps to reduce income inequality for the country. So I guess that's a right move.
I think that it's a very good measure, but I'm not sure if the amount is enough.
I don't think it's actually that much money when you calculate split across the entire population of Singapore, but it's more of something to make people less upset about the hike. Basically it's a PR thing, I feel. This 6 billion is a very temporary measure. In the long run, the 2% hike is probably going to get much more than 6 billion. So that probably shows how much of the cost they need to cover, the increment in the cost they need to cover.
It does seem that it wouldn't really matter, the GST hike wouldn't really matter for now, so obviously that's a good thing. Even though the impacts on equity markets previously for the SARS crisis was quite low, I do see the knock-on impacts for the COVID virus this time around to be a lot more severe because of the increased degree of reliance we have on the Chinese industries to drive our own Singaporean growth. So definitely I do think that this would help relieve some of the difficulties that we might face with the headwinds that a lot of the industries in Singapore would be facing.
I think it is also good to smoothen the transition of the people to adopt this increase, and because it's going to be a long-term thing, 5 years to allay the concerns of potentially some of us is necessary. I think it's good also. Yeah.
So you think it's helpful for the
Yes,
people?
it will be helpful. Yeah.
Seems like many of you thought that the budget 2020 was very well thought out. Let us know what are your thoughts down the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, do remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel. This is Street Talk. Stop talking already. Bye!